girls. We're in the East Village today, and I am here with Lidget, and we are at Lidget Gallery and Design in the East Village.
Yes.
And we're going to talk today about art, about owning an art business, about transitioning, and just about the show that's happening here in the gallery that I happen to be a part of.
Yes.
Which is right behind us, so we'll get there. But Liz, tell me about the space. Tell me about when you moved in here. Let's just start by talking about the gallery.
Sure. So the gallery opened in May, and I have had my own art advisory business for the last 8 years. So we've been helping people find the perfect piece of art for their style, space, and budget for a while.
Yeah.
But we decided that it was time for a physical location because there really is no getting past. You want to be able to see artwork in person,
Exactly.
right?
You want to have that physical experience.
Exactly. We've been able to work really well through digital imagery, but now we are able to have people see like how beautiful the sculpture is, how beautiful the paint comes off the canvas in so many really interesting ways, just like you would want to go to a museum.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we'll be giving you a sneak peek of what's happening in the gallery right now. But can you tell us about the show that's currently up?
Yes. So at our gallery, we do new shows every 8 to 12 weeks. Mm-hmm. This is an all-female artist show, of which Whitney is one. We have 8 artists that are represented, and it's called Not Your Muse. Mm-hmm. Of course, throughout art history, women were muses, not allowed to be artists. That is certainly not the case anymore. We know that about 50% of artists working today are women, but they are very undervalued and very underrepresented in galleries. Mm-hmm. So one of the things about our gallery is that we represent at least 50% women artists.
Yes. I love that.
Yes.
And then there's some local artists here, there's some all over, but what I think is beautiful is that you've done so much research in bringing different artists into our city.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you find your artists?
Sure. So all of our artists are represented for the first time in Iowa. That doesn't mean that they're not local, they're just the first time in a gallery space. So that helps us really bring our clients in and show them new emerging artists, but also introduce new artists from around the world to Iowa. So we have artists from as far away as Madrid, Spain that are now represented in places like New York, Los Angeles, and Des Moines.
Which is
pretty cool, right?
The little list in Des Moines.
But Instagram is huge.
Yes.
That's where we...
Do you just like sift and
I do,
search
all the time. Pinterest, Instagram, Architectural Digest, Elle Decor. I'm constantly on the lookout. We also have a few artists that we've recently represented that just sent us a cold email and we became really interested in their work. So that happens sometimes too.
And I love that, I call it gumption, for lack of a better word, of just like, here's my work. And actually that's how these pieces ended up on the wall.
I know. Yeah. So these pieces, I install a lot of art collections around Des Moines. Sometimes even if people aren't buying from us, they'll just say, will you come and install because we want your eye.
You did that for me in my Wall Street studio. I was like, Liz, I can't handle this.
Totally, So, and I love doing it because it feels like a makeover in an hour. Like it doesn't take the longer planning.
And it would have taken me weeks to commit to what you committed to in an hour. And I was like, that's great. Continue.
Totally. So, amazingly enough, I got to install your mom's collection, and she has one of these pieces on her wall.
I think she has
that one. Yeah.
I should know that.
And so this was, I'm going to say, about 5 years ago. Yeah. And I think it's a huge testament of what great art does is it sticks with you. And it's something that you continue to think about. So that was pre me knowing you, pre you moving back to Des Moines. And it was just something that had stuck with me. And you flash forward to you moving here, we became friends. And we were planning this show, and I thought Whitney's work has to be in it. It really does, because so much of what we want to show is, especially with the show Not Your Muse, is that female experience. And I will tell you, so many people come in to this show and go, been there. They really, they do, it does what great art does, is that people are like really connecting with it. And so that's exciting to me that it's, sometimes I think, well, I connect with this, but I hope other people do, and people have, which is great.
I love to hear that. And I had been so, I did this work in grad school. I loved it. It was a risk then. It felt like a risk now to just bring it back out. When you're in this grad school master's program context, everybody's doing kind of weird stuff. So it doesn't, like, what I was doing wasn't weird. And, when I photograph, I photograph in the professional world. That's what I'm creating all day, every day. And to bring this side of my personality out, to bring these things that I'm thinking about, to bring this vulnerability out there, felt really big. But it felt like the time to really show that. I've been talking so much about being unapologetically extra, figuring out, like, being seen and heard. Period.
Owning yourself, everything
all
that comes with
stuff.
it.
And I think at the end of the day, as females, we are still, underneath our clothing exterior, we have this extra layer. And so these are called self-control, because the thought is that we're wearing this protective layer underneath to shape us. And then when we take off our clothes at night, we're like, okay, well, that's not like the most flattering thing. Or it's also just like, what's this barrier that we're creating between ourselves and the experience of being ourselves?
And reality.
What exactly are we shifting and shaping here? So I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that, and I'm going to say the date wrong, November 5th. Thank you. I did already, that's already out on Facebook, so I'll be tagging people, and I think I invited a whole bunch of you, but I'll be diving deeper into that. But what I want to do right now is do a little gallery tour and have Liz tell us about some of the beautiful pieces, and Tina's going to help us out.
Thank you, Tina.
Yes, so come on up. We're just going to stand. So just, you can grab. There's my face, really big. Hi, guys. Okay. A little swap. There we go. Okay,
Okay, sure.
All right.
So we start the show with something that I think is very, very beautiful. It's 4 pieces by Minneapolis artist Jared Patrick. And this piece was actually on the cover of our invite. It's called Still Even. And it's one of those things, because I preach all of the time. It's so beautiful. You really need to get in there. Close. The detail is just gorgeous. And this piece is really about all of the balancing that it takes to be a woman. You may just look at it and see this truly beautiful portrait. I mean, it looks great on the wall. But when you dive a little bit deeper, it's about, what does it take for Jared to be a wife, wanting to be a mother, working every day, this like interesting balancing effect. And there's like this little being here. It's called Still Even. And so it's an interesting thing to me that art can have such a deeper meaning. And I truly do love that piece. And it speaks to the larger, what does it mean to be a woman? What does it mean to be a female artist?
Yeah, and the balance of like there's this aesthetic pleasure to the piece, and then there's also this execution. And I think as females, we're constantly balancing this pull between aesthetic pleasure and execution. Like even in our wardrobe, we're like, okay, how do I get dressed for a day? Sometimes I'm not quite sure.
No, 100%. So I thought it was a really nice juxtaposition. When I'm installing a show, I really want it to tell a story and flow well. So you may walk by our windows and see a bunch of artwork laying on the ground, because I'm
in transition.
Because it takes me a couple of hours to figure out what is that flow and how do I want people to walk through it. And it made sense to me to put Whitney's work right here. What's also great about Whitney's work, I love that we printed it on metal.
That's fine.
It's really fun because I see these in a lot of different areas, but I love them in a bathroom. And this material is perfect for a bathroom, because it doesn't matter if there's moisture on it, it can't warp because it's not a work on paper, no frame. I mean, that is really cool. There's also, because of the metal, a little bit of a reflection where you see yourself in the piece.
Think about that.
And so I have looked at these pieces so much because I see them on a daily basis. I'm blessed because of that. And I see myself, they're almost like a reflection in the mirror, because it's so much of Whitney's experience, but my experience too as a woman. And so there's like kind of an interesting reflection there too, right? So
you go with that.
Thank you. So the metal is beautiful, but there's a little bit more when you spend time time with a piece of artwork. They say that you spend about 3 seconds at a museum with a piece of artwork. Yes. You're flashing by, right? But what happens when you give it 30 seconds? Which is 10 times the amount of time. But you get so much more that way, and you're still not giving your day away.
Or when you choose something for your home. Yeah. Because then you're spending years with something. Yeah. And you're committing. But I tend to think, like, for me, art in my home is like, and when I feel it, when I see it, it's that. Yeah. Like, there's a connection. Like, it's usually like color and shape, and I collect a lot of female shape-oriented work and weird abstract stuff. Yeah, but
totally. Also, great price point.
Oh, yeah.
Really great price point for the size, too. So, I mean, I feel like there's a lot that is offered through these pieces.
I love them. I'm glad that they're out in the world, and thank you for creating space.
Of course,
of course. What else do we have?
Okay, so I want to go over here because this is by our window. It's by an artist, Christy Kohut. So Christy, we've had a long-time relationship with her. She framed this, and people try and check and see if there is a plug with it all of the time, and it's really the light absorbing with this color, and it just glows off the wall just naturally. Also, she puts this incredible, I almost think of it like a sugar, like a crystallized sugar layer on top of her print there, and it's like there's just a lot. It feels so sculptural.
This is a print underneath,
and then she put that layer on top. Yeah. So a really interesting way that's like very sculptural, but it still hangs on your wall. It's got this like added light dimension to it. We're constantly looking for things like, I haven't seen this anywhere else, right? Like this is so clearly Christy's work. That's so clearly Whitney's work. And so that is one of those things that we look at on as we're taking on new artists, where this doesn't remind me of anything else. This feels new and fresh.
Well, it's beautiful, and it doesn't quite make sense. Like, I don't walk up to it and think, I have it. I know how it happened. Yeah. And the fact that I didn't realize, just that extra layer of mystery is here. And I think it's a testament to what framing can do for a piece. Totally. Because for me, as an artist, especially back when I was producing a lot in that realm, we traded a lot. So I had a lot of, I didn't necessarily have to pay for the work, but I am a framing junkie. Oh, yeah. I'm like, this is the most fun. So to see a frame like this and to see the possibility of framing.
Yeah, and so often with framing, it's supposed to support the artwork. And I think it's not supposed to take away from it. This is probably when you break a rule, right? Like, this is a flashy frame, but it still somehow really adds to the piece. So it's amazing. We just got these Alice James pieces in, which are really beautiful, but I want to take you over to Logan at first, because Logan is one of those people, she's out of New Orleans. To me, this is a great example of why we have a gallery now, and we're not just working digitally. Because this is, first of all, it looks wet. Like, you just kind of want to reach out and kind of put your finger in it, right?
Right here, it's so sensual.
And she does great colorways, really beautiful work. But Tina, if you could show them even from the side, the way that the paint comes up off of the canvas like that, you just can't get that normally in photographs. So when you're here, it feels so sculptural again. And it does, like, that wet quality to it just feels sensual is a great word for it, but you just kind of want to dive in. So I love talking about Logan's work because seeing it in person and seeing it in a photograph are two totally different experiences.
Absolutely. You just couldn't have this experience in a photograph. You'd have to take 10 photographs of 10 different angles in order to feel it.
Exactly. And so we feel really excited to be able to represent at least 50% women artists. We're sharing the work of 8 women here. We just saw a study come out that 600 women artists in the last 20 years at auction totaled less than all of the sales by Pablo Picasso. So one artist is selling more than 600 women combined. It's stuff like this, like being able to have women-only shows, making sure that women have a place when there certainly are 50% women working artists. They're doing spectacular work, and they're talking about what it is to be a woman and an artist, and it's new and it's fresh, and we want to be a part of it and really support women that are doing that work.
I So people can come in and see the space. I'll be having the gallery talk on November 5th in the evening, but can people just walk in here during the day?
Yes.
Okay, tell them a little bit about how they can experience it.
We're Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, Saturday by appointment. But yes, we're here. So the doors are open. We really want art to feel accessible, and we've got music playing. We're friendly, we don't bite. Maybe you're just at St. Kilda or at Dry Bars next door, or Clyde's is opening next week. So maybe you're at lunch and you just have another 10 minutes to kill, and you'd love some creativity in your day. Come and walk our walls and take a look at what we have to offer, because even if you're not purchasing today, we hope that first you'll think of us later down the line.
Absolutely.
We do a lot of different services, but we also want to be a creative spot here in East Village, so people know that they can, come and have a little bit of inspiration. So
I love it.
Thank you for being a part of the show.
Absolutely. And I will see you guys next week.